Hey everyone, hello! Welcome to some more Let's Play Occult Chronicles with me, your host Tim. Holy crap! It's been, a year or two, I think, since we last fired up Occult Chronicles together. I'm playing this game because I'm in the mood to play creepy, thematic, or malevolent type games during the month of October. Today is August 25th, but nope, I'm totally made up my mind. I've got the 4 or 5 games slotted I'm going to be playing, and this will be one of them. We'll go ahead and cover some of what it's like to make a character, what the game is, etc., over the next few minutes, everyone. So if you don't want to hear about what the game is and how it's played, etc., go down to the comments section and you'll find links down there which will let you jump ahead to avoid me talking about the game for a little bit, and another link which will let you jump ahead to where we can start the game proper, in case you don't want to watch me create a character itself. Okay, so Occult Chronicles is a game by Cryptic Comet. Cryptic Comet is what it is, like a comet flying through space. The game was made by Vic Davis, and I'm a huge fan of all the games he ever created. He got out of the video game creation process some time ago. A shame. I was going to buy every game that man produced, because even though sometimes I pull my hair out of them, I love them. The ideas he's had for these games, oh my god, they're so wonderful. In this game, we will be creating an investigator working for ODD, the Occult Defense Directorate, made up of a group of bodyguards, ex-army folks, scientists, magicians, whose objective it is to defend the Earth from various threats. These threats come in the form of crazy Cthulhu-like creatures, like the picture we see over here, various cultists, demons, ghosts, aliens. Anything you can think of which is science fiction, this group deals with in some capacity. The game will play like a board game. We'll have a 3-story high, 3-story deep mansion to explore. The mansion will feel a bit kind of jumbled together. It's randomly created with encounters which are random. Some are more common to find than others, though. The encounters will range from everything from fighting off succubuses, vampires, ghouls, cultists, creepy Cthulhu creatures, dodging traps of all sorts, from acid sprays to horrible teleports, pit traps, gelatinous cubes, etc. Aliens could be present. We might fight cultists with machine guns. All sorts of crazy stuff is in this mansion. What we encounter will be somewhat determined by the mission that we'll select, which you'll see in a few more minutes. When creating a character, we'll have so many points to spend on different abilities and attributes. We'll pick what background our character has, and then we'll start off. Combat plays a bit like Solitaire, or something like it. I haven't played much Solitaire like what I play in this game, and I'll explain how it works when we get into combat or horror checks or skill checks. They all use this type of mechanic, which we'll see in the game. It's single player only, by the way, as well. Before we go any further as well, note that I have modded my game. Like all Vic Davis games, I played the hell out of most of them, and I eventually wanted things to be a little more, balance is the wrong term, but I didn't like how scarce a few things were. I added a greater chance for us to get courage tokens and arcane power tokens. This way you can use those abilities a little more often. I may have also increased the drop rate of bullets. I also, I believe, tried to add some new encounters to the game, or at the very least gave you more options when encountering certain things. We might encounter the locked door addition I did, but I couldn't get it to work properly. I'll still show it off anyway, to let you guys know that it is possible to mod the game. And should anyone be interested, I can put together a series of videos which will show you how to mod Occult Chronicles, similar to how I put together a series of videos to show you how to modify Armageddon Empires. Okay, that's it for game prep. Let's go ahead now and make ourselves a new character. Actually, let's save this off. Alright, there we go. I definitely don't have to redo that. Alright, let's do it. Okay, so over here is our create new game thing. And over here we'll select a mission, and then I'll read to us the mission we'll be doing today. It's my plan to play several of these missions, so I can keep these being uploaded all throughout the month of October. So, story speed. During the gameplay, there are a certain amount of turns. Let's say that there's, I don't know, I think there's like 14 or 13, maybe a little more, maybe a little less turns in the game. However, the turns don't, turns is the wrong thing to say, but I'm going to have to use that. A turn is over when you randomly draw this one token. Every time you take a step. Or rather, oh, how about this? Story speed is a lot like food checks in Darkest Dungeon. Eventually, you're going to get one. You might get them quickly. You might get them not quickly. Story speed determines the amount of food checks you get. Once you get a total of 15 food checks, or however many food checks there are in the game ends. And whatever you were trying to defeat beats you instead. So consider this how quickly the game will be over. How many turns it takes to end. But it would be I said the wrong thing at the start. So it's random. We won't know until it's over. I always pick slow story speed, so I can explore the majority of the mansion and get down into the basement with enough stats and skills able to have a decent chance of winning, and it still will be very close, and we still could fail, even with slow speed. I will not disable the story, because I do like being pressured. It means I'll have to make some difficult choices. For difficulty, I always play Agent. Veteran's too difficult for me, honestly, and Recruit is... I do like Recruit better than Agent, but we'll play Agent for the Let's Play. The difficulty determines how many tricks you draw and how many card draw you have and how difficult each challenge is. I'll talk a bit about that when we get to the actual game. Game mode is Reaper or normal. Reaper is Iron Man, and I really like playing Reaper. However, the game sometimes crashes, and when it does that, you lose all the progress that you made. As such, I will just play normal. The difference is, however, is that with normal, when you die, your hero wakes up again at the beginning of the mansion. On Reaper, you're dead. Here's what we're going to do. If I die in the game, I will delete my save slot. That will be it for the character. I will give myself 2 reloads throughout the game in order to help me beat a challenge which might be very difficult. I'm not going to save scum, like if we fail once, I'll try it again. We fail that challenge like 2 more times, that's it for the rest of the game. We're going to have to make do with the choices I make. I don't want this to be a save scumming game, but I do want to give myself a little bit because the game, just like Armageddon Empires or like Pool of Radiance, can be very grueling with how unlucky you can get. Next, for a mission. The missions actually, having played the game often enough, these missions, it kind of really matters the type of character you build. You may not realize it, but when you fight off the key in the gate, you're fighting off Yog-Sothoth or what have you, you actually want a melee type of character, a guy who's good with bullets or guns. You want lots of brute force because of the enemies which start appearing in here. I think against the Elder, you want lots of mental capacity, and so on. So this does matter. With that said, I think we're going to play the Elder, because it is the month of October. Again, when I plan to upload this, and look at that! That's a pretty cool looking picture, Vic Davis. That's amazing looking. Because we're doing this, we can expect to fight certain types of creatures in the game, and the final boss will be the Eldest Vampire. Rather than over here, which I think you have to stop the cult from actually summoning the creature, or you lose. Over here, you get to fight a demon. Here you fight you had to blow up a UFO. That was the last thing I did, which was successful over a year ago or so, I think now. Anyway, I'm beginning to babble, so let's go ahead and select this mission. So, the Elder. Despite the loss of 2 entire tactical operation teams, Operation Driven Stake has been a major success. The vampire clans have been smashed, 2 elders have been destroyed, and those remaining have been driven into hiding. Mop-up operations continue at pace. The recent intelligence indicates that some minor Nosferatu elements might have taken refuge in an abandoned Corvinus manor. Your assignment is to visit the manor and determine the nature and extent of any vampire clan activity that is ongoing there. You should begin your survey in the morning and plan to finish before dusk to ensure your safety. Okay, next we get to make a character. So you can pick a portrait. Portrait doesn't really matter whatsoever for the most part. I think we'll pick her. Let's give her a name. Oh God, what type of character am I making? We'll go a little weird this time. We'll try to take something with swords and wands for my starting. We'll get into that in a few minutes. So what's a good name for her? Harley I want like Faerun? Harley Faerun will be her name. Next, we get to select the background. The background determines what it will modify your starting stats a tiny bit, give you passives and active abilities, may give you an item as well. Let's cover something like the soldier here. So the soldier gets a bone of swords. This is basically a six-sided dice. During the game, we'll have the option of getting other bones. Never waste a pick getting a bone that you already possess. It is such a waste. It does nothing for you. So because we're picking a bonus swords, I will go out of my way to avoid getting another bonus swords. It's a waste of all those points. So soldier gives us a bonus swords, which is useful for any types of things which involve combat. We get 2 random combat edges. These are passive abilities, which rely on our combat stat, or swords feat for the most part. We get a combat heroic feat. This is an active ability that we can use in combat. Probably will rely on a weapon of some sort. We get a random weapon. It'll be either a service pistol or a shotgun. These weapons require ammo to fire. They can be used to help you do special things in combat depending on what cards you draw. They can also be used to give you special combat options, allowing you to maybe defeat things that you couldn't normally defeat because you have the weapon in hand. We get an air talisman. This lets you select a card without getting the negative effect. However, there's a chance you'll lose the talisman permanently upon doing so, and we gain +1 to our swords stat, for example. Now, do we have anything which gives us wands? I mean, swords is nice. We could pick the thief. Ironically, this is not at all what I wanted. This would be a bone of cups. But she does look like a thief. She also starts with the lock edge, which isn't a bad one to start with, especially as you go deeper down into the dungeons. Starting with a knife is also useful. 1 random water talisman, +5 skill. You know what? We'll try the thief. You grew up on the streets, surviving as a pickpocket, working your way up to more elaborate heists. You quickly gained a reputation that made you one of the most feared jewel thieves of your time. When you accidentally stole a cursed diamond, you needed odds help, and have been paying them back ever since. We get a bone of cups, we get a random lock edge, some passive for picking doors. We get defensive heroic feat. Those will probably be useful for against traps or being detected, allowing us to stealth away. We get a melee weapon, which is always really useful because those never basically get... Well, you can lose one or something of the sort, but otherwise this is a really nice item to start with. We get a random water talisman, and we get 5 starting skill tokens. This is one of the best other things to get because we can use this to immediately maybe improve our stats even more. The bad news is, though, we don't start with any upgrades to our stats. For our stats... Oh, actually, we select a starting bone. Let's do that first. So, my thief background already provides you with a bone of cups, so we don't want to select another bone of cups. I'm tempted to pick wands or swords. I probably should honestly pick swords. Let's pick it. Bones of swords are used primarily for melee item special abilities. You must have a bone of swords to use a melee item special ability. So we have a knife or dagger. This will probably be useful because of that. We get a starting edge, so we get to pick a passive of some sort. Let's see. Whenever a melee weapon special ability is used... Okay, everyone, this is going to take a bit to look through. I'm thinking that reflexive dodge would be a good one for us, or something that helps us fend off horror checks, or makes it easier for us to fight things. No. I'm not taking any of the shooters because we don't start with a gun. Whenever a melee of this must use X to bump up value. I don't know what the dagger does, so I don't know if this will be a waste to take. Oh, Trugit could be good. I kind of want... We should really take lightning reflexes. This is for the end game. Or alternatively, Mental Fortress could also be useful. If I go for Mental Fortress, I don't need as much horror to start Juan's ability. Let's pick Mental Fortress. X is subtracted from the target level at the start of any horror challenge, where X is the level of the edge. What this is saying is that it'll be easier for us to survive any horror challenges. Whenever we encounter a creature of any sort, or we have any encounter inside the place, well, most encounters, we have to make a horror check. Failing the horror check means we lose sanity. We lose all our sanity, our character is killed. So we'll pick Mental Fortress to help us out. Next, although it's more thematic to take Escape Artist. Actually, you know what? It is more thematic. Darn it! We'll take Lightning Reflex is what we'll take. So this is the same thing as, well, not the same thing. This basically makes it easier for us to dodge traps, which I think is more thematic for a thief. For our starting stats, just know that the higher the numbers, the greater chance you have of surviving any encounters. Well, I'll describe these a little more in more detail soon. I like starting with 2 of everything, and then I either want another cups or wands to start. Wands is really helpful for horror checks. Really helpful for horror checks. In fact, we'll start with a 3 in wands, I think. The other few points we'll put in health. You can tell that the cost of upgrading these is a bit, it takes 1 point to take the first rank, 3 points for the next, and then 6 for the one after that. We could lower, like, Pentacles to 1 and take another point in something else, but I really like having 2 points in everything to start, so we're going to do that. Alright, Harley, let's do it. Once we get into the game, we'll spend a few more minutes covering what we're seeing on screen really quick. We'll take a look at our character. Assuming that this does actually create the mission. That would suck if it doesn't. You have to recreate the character and everything. Oh no. Game might not even want me to do this. Hold on, I'll be back. Or still awkwardly record. That works too. Okay. Holy crap. Alright, everyone. Welcome to the game. Let's quickly save the game so we don't have to recreate our character. Okay. This is all we've seen of the mansion so far. Here is our investigator token. We are on this spot. This spot is orange. We are considered to have stepped here before. We know it is safe to step here, and there is no traps with clue tokens to find. We are able to walk to any of these places which are around us here. You cannot move diagonal. You can only move horizontally or vertically. These are our stats, and the amount of stuff we can carry is also indicated here. We, for example, have 1 of 3 weights that we're allowed to carry here. The ceremonial dagger is costing us 1 sword weight to carry. We have 1 of 2 heroic feats for our cups ability. We have Grateful Evasion, we'll take a look at that soon. We have no wands, we have no pentacles, and we have no of whatever this is. Oh, right, fate, what do I call it? Fate cards? I don't know if they're actually called fate, but we have none of them to start. These are a number of game tokens, which must be drawn before this amount of time we have until we've lost the game. Randomly throughout the game, as I've said before, tokens will be drawn once they're all out. That is it. Once we hit this spot, the game is over and we have lost. Here's our character's quick chart. We can see all the stats our character has. We have 3 swords and 3 wands. The ceremonial dagger is giving us +1 sword bonus. We can use its special ability once, dagger thrust. We roll a swords and we choose a random non-face played card and bump its values up +X, where X is the number of swords rolled. So if we roll a 6-sided dice, we get a 4. We choose a number on the board, like let's say 3. That now becomes a 7. I have to remember I have these as well. And Graceful Evasion, what does this do? So it takes 1 to 2 courage to use it. We do not have 3 cups, so we can't even use the feat. We select a health loss card and roll 1 bone. Oh, okay, so what this does is, if we take a hit point of some sort for health loss, like a massive health loss, we can use Graceful Evasion to try to dodge that, to lower the amount of damage that we take. It's useful, especially for us. Hopefully we won't take too much damage. And that is not quite it, right? We have our personnel file. We have 5 points that we can spend on things. Let's go ahead and increase our cups. Next, we could increase our wands. We could hold on to these to take another skill card, or take another locked device edge. I'm thinking that we probably want cups or wands first. I really wouldn't mind pentacles, but we just don't have it. Why don't we take wands? Okay, so there's our starting character. This, by the way, this was experience points. Experience has to be collected. There's no guarantee you'll get any experience points. We could technically play 100 turns and never get a single point of experience, even though we killed many, many things. So the better you do in challenges, the higher the odds are you getting any experience. Our edges are lightning reflexes, which we knew we took. This makes it easier for us to dodge traps. And we have never gives up. During any results phase of any successful challenge, there is an X percentage chance that a single nothing of interest card... Oh, hey, holy crap, nice! So this gives us a chance to gain courage tokens, 2% per rank of the edge. It can go up to 4 ranks total for an 8% chance that instead of a nothing gained, it becomes courage tokens. Awesome. Here's our bones. We have no clues. We have no quest stuff. Finally, we have the wave. If we fail a challenge, the wave will show up in order to protect us from one of the bad cards. We can select the wave, and that if there was a negative on that card, we're not affected by it. But there's also a 10% chance we lose the wave. I will begin using this later on in the game, but not at the start. Okay, holy crap, that was a lot to go over. Oh yeah, and this obviously does that. Alright, let's go exploring. And I think we'll check this... let's go up this way. Sometimes there's a secret door up here. If there was a secret door, we did not find it. I love the music to this game. I've been tempted to upload the music in a separate playlist for everyone. All the different tracks for all the different floors of the mansion and what have you. Hello, room. So there's no guarantee... There's absolutely no chance of us beating the game from only this area. We need to get down into the cave system's 2nd floor, I think, to find the way to beat the game. But we are no match for whatever is for the Elder down there until we've leveled up somewhat significantly. Oh, there's nothing in here. Or at least there was no encounter. Yeah, nothing. No clue tokens either. We want all the clues we can get. Each clue we pick up helps us against the final battle, and they're all cumulative. Oh, there's usually a pipe demon or something in here. So, here's an encounter right here, the question mark. Something of interest catches your attention, but you will need to get closer to identify what it is. So we have no idea what this is. We need to step on this token or tile in order to see it. Let's do it. Pile of papers. You see a bunch of papers spread out on top of a desk. Among the clutter are an assortment of old envelopes, letters, and even a few parchment papers. We can try ruffling through them to get something, but I'm going to wait until we get another pentacles first before I do that. Papers are one of the few things in the game that we do not need to make a horror check for. You can see that we didn't interact with it. It's still here, and the icon's purple. We can hover on it, and it shows us what we actually saw up there. There are some quests that will have us come here to get the papers as well. What is this? I can't tell what this is. A bed? Or a dining table with lots of blood on it. Big game hunter ghost. A ghost suddenly materializes in front of you. It's dressed as if it just stepped out of a safari on the Serengeti. It lowers its large caliber big game rifle at you and seems to be considering you closely. Resist the horror. You don't know which is scarier, the ghost or the ethereal gun. Okay, everyone, I didn't explain things very much, so we're just going to do this one really quick. Oh, God. Oh, crap, we're going to fail this miserably. I'll explain this more in depth later. Just know that we failed. Your mind is weak. You cower before the ghost in shame. You feel like a rodent that he might shoot for fun. The ghostly big game hunter squints at you like he is sizing you up for his trophy wall. There is a taint to him. You suspect he once brushed elbows with a witch doctor. You both stand there in a sort of ghostly standoff, waiting for the other to make the first move. So, these are all the things we can select to allow us to interact with this encounter. Do you see the symbols down here? This means that our target is based on the number of wands that we have, the number of tricks we draw is based on pentacles, and the number of draw we get is also based on wands. You can actually see that up above as well. The difficulty of the challenge is considered an 8. That's because that's what the game files say it is. We don't have any way to modify that other than choosing different difficulty levels, or modding the game to lower them. We have a -4 because we have 4 wands, meaning that we have a target. We need to earn 4 points in the challenge. Over here, we can, next we have tricks. Tricks are the number of face-down cards you'll draw from the deck and place them, well, as I said, face down in front of you. You'll be flipping over these one by one, and then you need to have a card in your hand to play to take that trick. To take a trick, you must be able to beat it. Your card must be higher. Aces are a 1 in the game. A king is the highest number. Depending upon the card you use and the trick you took will give you a different amount of points. I'm not going to engage it in a psychic duel because this guy's part of a quest. We'll try to communicate with the ghostly big game hunter. You decide to enter a trance and use your skill as a medium to find out what this ghost wants. His taint is suspicious. Oh, right. Also note that this is a persuasion or perception encounter. If we had an edge or heroic ability or a spell which affected these, we would be able to use it during this encounter as well. This one is a psychic encounter. This one is a fleeing encounter. Alright, so let's go ahead and do this. Wow, we drew some decent cards. We have a King of Cups and a Queen of Swords. We also have a 9 of Wands. We definitely want to see a Cups up here. We will definitely win. We only need to score 1 point. Wonderful. So, this will be worth, I want to say, how much is this? It'd be 3, 4 plus 5. I think this is going to earn us 8 points, 8 or 7 points. 8 points. So, if the trick was a non-face card, so a number, and you play a number on that, you're able to take it, your number is higher than that number, then you gain 2 points. If a page is worth 3 when you play it, or if you take it, a knight is worth 4, queen is worth 5, and a king is worth 6. Which is why I knew that this was... Oh, hold on, Tim. That was going to be then 4. Alright, I'm not making much sense, everyone. Just know that higher cards, in this case, we will earn a lot of points, because that was a knight, and we had the king. This gives us 8 points. Fantastic. Now, we don't have to take the Queen of Pentacles. In fact, we don't interact with this at all. We don't have a Pentacles card. So, this doesn't do anything to us, but we can do nothing to it either. A 6 of Wands. Now, we have to play one of our cards in hand because we drew this trick. This trick matches a suit that's in our hand. We must play a card to counter it. If we had an Ace of Wands, we would be forced to play it, for example, even though it wouldn't do anything for us. In this case, we're earning even more points. Nice! Holy crap! We talked the ever-living hell out of this guy. Wonderful. So that was 2 points for the 7? And then 5 for the queen, I guess is what that was. You have no trouble establishing a link. He is quite eager to speak with you. We gain a quest. Find the polar bear that Colonel von Pelt claims is... Well, we'll take a look at this later. Let's go ahead and now select winnings. I think 6 is the most amount of cards you're able to select from a successful challenge. Now, we don't know what these are. They could be nothing, but they're always going to be... They could be nothing or good. And the type of good it is dependent upon the challenge that you did. I don't think, for example, we'll earn bullets here, but we might earn arcane power. We might gain sanity, because this was a talking challenge. We might also earn luck. Sanity. So we earned 3 sanity. I think the maximum sanity you can have is 40 in the game. Nothing of interest. Nice. 2 more sanity. Holy crap, 3 more sanity. 3 experience points. Holy flipping crap. Wow! That was awesome! Holy crap, 11 sanity and 3 experience points. A big game hunter ghost. Cheers, mate. I'm sorry for my accent. I'm Colonel Von Pelt, and you are my prey. Unless, of course, you can prove yourself useful. It seems one of my trophies has left the roost. I want you to track it down and return it to its rightful place. Come back here and let me know how you fared, or I will track you down. No, just kidding, laddie. I'll make it worth your while. And now he's here. On our personnel file, we now have a quest that we're tracking. We have to find the polar bear that Colonel Von Pelt claims is missing from his trophy wall and hunt it down. We can take the polar bear, take the head of the polar bear, find the trophy room wall, and mount it in its place, to its proper place, and then return to Colonel Von Pelt and inform him the task is complete. So this quest, like most quests in this game, gives us a choice of what we want to do. So imagine like World of Warcraft, where you go out and you get some, I don't know, you kill a creature and you get its paw. But during the process, you find out that a shaman needs the paw to help someone else. You could return your quest item to the original quest giver and get a reward, or take it to the other person and maybe get a different reward. Most of the quests in this game work like that. Let's also save the game. That was amazing. I couldn't have wished for a better first encounter than that. So we've earned 3 experience. This will sit in here permanently. I don't think anything can take your experience away from you. I'm actually tempted to save to get a skill card and grab a magic power next, so we can up our pentacles skill. Upping our cups could be really, really useful, but we have 3 cups at the moment, and I'm fine with that at this moment. Row of talking busts. You notice a row of sculpted marble busts against a wall. You count 4 until you notice that one has fallen to the floor, subsequently cracked in half. A sudden chill comes over you as you watch in amazement as the faces on the bust begin to move. Lips pucker and cheeks flex as if they were warming up for something. And then they begin to sing. Oh crap, I didn't read what that said. I'm so sorry, everyone. Right, they're babbling at us. We have to try to resist the horror effect. And we fail miserably. Your mind is weak. Before you know it, you are singing along. This is a tune that might haunt you for some time. We failed this mission. The amount of the higher the number of the failure, which is to say, if we got 0, but the target number was I think 4 or 3, so we have to draw 2 cards. If the target number was 11 and we had no successes, we probably have to draw 5 cards. Just like successes, these are what you earn here are dependent upon the task that you did. Most likely, we will lose sanity if we lose anything. There'll be no effect. There's also cursed auras, which are really bad if we get one of them, because that affects how lucky we are. A chorus of talking heads continues unabated, even though it has no further effect on you. The heads seem to be having too good a time to stop. You are certain that some sorcerous curse has bound spirits to these busts as some form of punishment. Just who was being punished, though, is an open question. We can interrupt the busts, talking to them. We can attack them. Wow, that requires a huge amount of work. That seems kind of weird. The difficulty's 13 for that. Use sorcery to attack them. Engage them in a psychic duel. So our best chance, actually, if we want to actually fight them, would probably be this. Although the target number is high, we do have 6 draw. Psychic duel could also be useful, but I think we'll interrupt them. I always prefer talking to everything in here to get a quest. Quests have give you generally a decent reward of some sort, and a chance to earn experience points, which at this point in the game is so important for us. Yes, but we need the swords for this to work. We could get all pentacles, and that would stink. We won, just like that. Oh, it's 1 point for this. 1 point for this. Okay, I gotcha. So okay, so a non-face card is worth 1 point. And this card was also worth 1 point, which gives us 2. That means that the page is, which is basically the, is that the jack? Yeah, that's the, wait. No, the page is a new one. It goes numbers, page, knight, queen, king, is what it is. So, this guy's worth 2 points then. Oh, you're kidding me. We got the King of Swords. We'll play the 8. Oh, King of Cups as well. Okay, well, we still won. You enter a trance and start singing along with them. It's painful, but by messing up the words and being dreadfully out of tune, you get their attention. Soon they are begging you to stop. That's when you take control of the conversation. The Busts were once members of a family that resided here. The story is muddled and conflicting from the various heads and you are sure they are lying about what happened to some extent. But the short of it is that they were cursed by a Black Lodge sorcerer. They are unanimous in their opinion, though, that you can help them. The sorcerer also cursed a statue of a gargoyle. It resides somewhere in the house and contains a coin inside that, when used properly, can break the curse. Alright, we'll save the game. That didn't work out poorly for us. You should expect me to save the game after every single challenge. Now, there are random encounters in here. There are things looking for us as well, so we need to be careful. A deadly pendulum blade trap. You hear a mechanical click and see motion out of the corner of your eye. A large pendulum swings down onto your location at a tremendous rate of speed. It looks like it could cut you in half. I already know we want to do this one. That's probably the best chance we have of winning. We can dodge the blade or step aside and deflect the blade. So we're going to do this one. It seems like a crazy idea, but your martial arts jutsu training kicks in. You decide to strike the blade and nudge it to the side as you step in the opposite direction. I think which one you fail doing also might determine what happens to you afterwards. Now, our target level's 4 instead of 5 because our lightning reflexes is coming into play here. Let's hope we can do this. That's a miserable card draw. We have no face cards. Wow, but we still did it anyway. Holy crap. Whew! You calmly swivel around, stepping to one side while you strike the blade with the palm of your hand. It swooshes by without giving you so much as a scratch. Wow! This is awesome! This card will increase your aura and grant you luck. It's cumulative, I think I'm saying that word correctly, with other ones of these that you get. Luck is a stat that you never get to see. I think we'll see it at the end of the game. It will tell us how lucky or unlucky we have. Just know that with more Auras of Fortune, we get a chance of getting greater rewards from these picks. Let's save the game. It's not every day you get an Aura of Fortune. Actually, it is. If you play the game a lot, I suppose. You play for 40 hours, you'll get it every day. You'll get it every day. 40 hours every day, Tim? That's not even possible. What the heck are you saying? 40 hours a week, you'll probably pick them up every day. Alright, so we want to explore this entire room. Oh god, zombies! You come face to face with the living dead. Slow, ponderous, and mindless, zombies are not to be underestimated. They can overwhelm you with numbers and be feasting on your entrails before you know it. Despite having dispatched quite a few of these undead automatons, they still creep you out. Now, this is a common encounter. Unlike the encounters we've had before, which are set, like they'll never move, this is a monster. Monsters move around, or some of them do. We can flee this after we pass the horror check, and it might decide to chase us. However, because I'm mentioning all this because this is also the only time we should have to make a horror check against this creature. You only should have to make horror checks against a creature once ever. But you have to do it for every single creature you encounter. This is not a bad hand draw. Hopefully we get a low Knight of Cups, though. Nice! That's 4 points. That's all we got, too. Your mind is weak. You struggle to maintain your sanity. To be fair, zombies would probably be terrifying. Oh, something else I should mention really quick. The game, the better you do, the harder it gets. These rewards or these curses that you get, these negative cards, become larger in their totals if your numbers are higher. If we had 40 sanity, we could lose up to like 5 sanity from these cards, as opposed to if we had 10 sanity, we'd be losing only 1 or maybe 2. Zombies. You hate these guys. This place certainly knows how to keep you on your toes. You don't build a summer house. Just don't build a summer house here. We can attack them. We could also flee, but I think we'll try to kill them. Attack the zombies. Just remember to aim for the head. Oh god, this is terrible. I need the knight, and we need a low... I need to be able to take a pentacles, and we need a low-level cups to win. You didn't take the advice, now did you? Don't let them bite you. 4. So, the bad news about this is we could get, again, ill omens, which are the reversal of the aura of luck that we picked up. Or fortunes, I'm sorry. We could also pick permanent damage, which will affect our traits forever. Normally, if I grab one this early in the game, I just delete the character or I'll reload. Actually, I will reload if we grab one of them this early in the game. Oh, 2 damage. We could have used our heroic feat, but I'll take that too. Okay, we'll try it again. Another absolutely god-awful draw. At least we didn't fail as badly. Good God. These things are going to kill us. We can do... Oh, come on! This is terrible. And we still fail. 2 more... I can't believe we're going to die to zombies. Normally, the game would also make it easier, but we're just getting horribly unlucky. An ace and a 2 and a 4. Good God. Oh, come on, game. Alright, we're probably going to just be reloading at this rate. Because, so, this is my biggest complaint with the game, is that it's pure RNG. And we're getting so unlucky here. Yep, we keep failing. We're not getting what we need to win. Which is to say, good card draw. This one's okay. This one's okay. I need to take it because I need to win. Woo! You won the battle. The dismembered zombie bodies still twitch around on the floor, putting on quite a show. Because we won a melee combat, we have a chance to actually gain life. And it just occurs to me I should have been looking to use my dagger in the combat to help me. Alright, so we lost 2 damage total from that. Let's save the game. I can't believe how bad that was. Oh God, a creepy mortician. You see a human figure lurking in the darkness and you don't like the look of it at all. It steps forward from out of the gloom. You're confronted with a strange and unusually tall man who towers over 6.5 feet. He seems dressed like a mortician of some sort. He opens his hand to reveal a spiked shiny sphere that miraculously hovers out of his palm. He smiles in a creepy voice and says, "I've been waiting for you, boy." So this is from a movie, and I don't know the movie this is from. My friend Chris loves telling me what movie this is. I have no idea. You've seen a lot of strange things, but this one is right up there. You have a feeling that there is a story here that is just the tip of the iceberg. Horror check. Again, we're not getting good cards at all. Your mind is weak. You feel like you're trapped in a B-horror movie trying to do anything stupid. The strange man continues to approach you, striding forward with an unnatural gait. The spiked ball now launches itself at high speed towards you. It's either fight or flee at this point. I think we're going to run. Until I have more cups and swords, this guy's actually really tricky. You do what any outclass hero with some common sense does. Run. Wow, game. Screw you too. You attempt to turn and run, but the flying sphere gets in front of you and stops you in your tracks. We couldn't even earn a single point, and we took a point of damage from that. Come on. Please just get me away. I just want to run away. You turn and run as fast as you can. You hear the flying sphere buzzing around you, trying to wound you. But then suddenly the sound vanishes and you are away. He will not move from that spot. I'm just going to leave him there. We picked up a clue. -1 target level. Awesome. Let's take a look at that clue. You smell iron in the air. It smells like blood. Then you hear a long howl like a wolf from somewhere nearby. So we've just lowered the level of the final mission by 1 point. Believe it or not, that is really important because I think it starts at like 30 or some ridiculously high number. We also should save the game because we did grab a clue token. Oh, that was Galvin Begins. That's not at all what I wanted. Oh, this looks like an a art room. Okay, let's see what's in here. Haunted suit of armor. Your attention is drawn to an old suit of armor standing guard in the gloom. As you strain to make out its features, you realize something is terribly wrong. A sudden chill shoots down your spine and a sense of dread engulfs you. There is dark sorcery involved in this, and it nibbles at your sanity. Resist the horror. Your eyes widen in disbelief as the cursed armor turns to meet your gaze. You must fight to keep your sanity. This is really bad, game. See, this is what I'm used to. Horrible, horrible luck. Your mind is strong. You've seen things far worse than this. I shouldn't complain because we did win. The haunted suit of armor is animated by some evil sorceress artifice. Such a curse would require great power and forbidden knowledge. Its gaze is locked on you, and you sense an intelligence of some sort. Let us try communicating with it. You sense a keen intelligence before you. An aura of sadness permeates its very being. You also sense desire. Perhaps you can figure out what, if anything, this cursed suit of armor wants. That's a good draw. Nice. Holy crap. You know, we're losing the little battles, but we're winning the war. So this is fantastic. We have a good chance to get more experience points from this. The intelligence speaks to you. The sadness and anguish are nearly overwhelming, but you understand that it wants you to break its curse. 500 years ago, a Sabotic witch stripped the knight's soul from his body, sealed it into the armor, and bound the key within a small glass bead. The bead was taken by a common thief who perished in this house 30 years ago. The haunted armor cannot use the key itself, but perhaps you can. That is wonderful. Wow. Wow. I can't believe how much experience we've gotten right away. Okay, well, we're going to grab a skill card since we have 7 points. Now, do I want pentacles or do I want more swords? They're both going to be handy. We already have a sword's bone, so I wouldn't take that at all. Unfortunately for me, I do not know the difference between the different sorcery spells, and they are different, and it does matter. But I'm not sure which one I would want, if any. The Talisman Expert could be useful as well. I think our best bet is to go and grab some more pentacles early. We'll aim for swords next. We'll take Talisman Expert. You have studied under shamans, witch doctors, and even a leper king, and have scoured the world in search of protective charms and incantations. You are an expert in the art of defensive sorcery and the creation and use of talismans. This will increase our pentacles, gives us a spell, gives us a unique thing when it comes to talismans, and we can earn a pentacles bone from it. Once we earn another point of experience, we'll spend them to up our pentacles stat 1, giving us 3 and everything, which would be nice. Then I really do need to consider swords. We only have 3 swords because of our dagger. If we ever lose the dagger, we'll end up losing that. Let's also save the game. That went incredibly well. An occult card game ritual. You see a spent candle placed next to 7 chalk circles. You have the impression that somebody has been playing a game here. You notice the cards sitting in 3 of the circles. A sudden chill shoots down your spine as you recognize one of the cards. Death. Something supernatural is going on here, and you can feel it in your bones. A ritual was in the process of being performed, and was suddenly interrupted. You can sense the spirit energy swirling about this place. You'll note right away, everybody, that because of the horror checks It's very important to take a high number of wands and or pentacles or something of the sort to make up for it if you don't take these as your starting, as like at least put 2 points in them. It was one of the complaints about this game. Just want to make you aware in case you decide to go pick it up. Holy crap! Please let us use these cards. We will use the king. Oh, this is a horror check only. No, we'll use the knight. Darn it, should use the king. Your mind is strong. You shrug off the effects of the supernatural energy that has been drawn to this location via the ritual that the deck has begun to invoke. Oh, okay, gotcha. Thought we were just panicking because we saw cards on the floor. Alongside death sit despair and darkness. The unseeing eye seems to preside over all three. This is a very unusual deck. You can't place it exactly from memory. You think it might have originated from the Balkans, but you're not sure. You study the setup carefully and decide what to do. Let's decipher the game. You decide to try and examine the card game setup more closely to see if you can identify it and what it is trying to do. That's not a bad card. Thank goodness we had an ace to play on you, king. And that will win it for us. Holy crap, getting all the kings. Hey! Actually earned a few more points above the score that time. Success! Yes, you recognize the deck and the setup. It's clearly the work of the Red Hand. You thought that the cult had been destroyed utterly. Why would a Red Hand divination deck be set up here? There must be a spirit here nearby. You should try to find it. Wow. Amazing. You find the key, you can play the... Oh. If you find the key, you can play the deck... Wow. If you find the key, you can play the deck without the worry that you might precipitate some catastrophic event. You suspect it is nearby. A key for a deck created for the Red Hand will most likely bear the mark of the Red Hand somewhere conspicuous. You will know it when you see it. We can also play without the key, but that's really dangerous. We also gain more experience points, which means... we'll up our pentacles a rank. Locked door with levers. You see a sealed large door that is controlled by a station of levers. Some of the levers have bright metal handles, while others are topped with ornate carved wooden figures depicting human figures writhing in torment. We're going to ignore this at the moment. The target's a little too high for us. Too difficult at the moment. You decide to leave the door alone. You get the feeling that nothing good can come from blindly pulling levers. Does that really sound like a good idea? Generally, if you fail to pick some extravagant lock like that, traps get set off. I'm particularly worried about a pit trap. If we fall down to the cellar, we will die down there. The encounters down there are very difficult, like level 17 or higher. Oh god, a giant green ooze. This sucks having it here. You come face to face with a green ooze. You didn't even notice it at first. It sticks to the ceiling, hidden in the shadows, waiting in ambush. Suddenly, it drops to the floor with a sickening squishing sound and forms up in front of you. You feel a rush of adrenaline fueled by fear sweep over you. This lab experiment has gone bad could mean the end of you. Resist the horror. We have a miserable card draw. Your mind is weak. You struggle to maintain your sanity. You thought that the last of these Lab 257 experiments had been hunted down and destroyed. It seems that you were wrong. You try to recall the warnings from the briefings. The creature will try and suffocate you by enveloping you in its amorphous, slimy tissues. We might be able to defeat it, but I think it's in our best bet to get away. This isn't a battle that you want to fight right now, and you decide to get away to fight another day. We'll try to flee, especially with this draw. You turn and run as the creature lunges at you, but it's too late and you're safely away. This creature will stay here. Oh, actually, we're safe? Let me save the game really quick. This is not a creature that will actually chase us. Nice, we can actually stay on this spot. Though the bad news is that I'm going to have to try to flee it whenever I get near it. it's probably in our best interest to leave this half of the mansion and go exploring in the other half now. We might be able to get to the other half by going down this way, but it's not guaranteed. We'll try. A figure in a mirror. You come across an antique mirror. The glass is dirty and streaked, covered in dust, but you catch a glimmer of reflected light off of it. As you look into the mirror to see your reflection, you start to feel uneasy. You simply can't see yourself. It's like you are looking through a portal. Suddenly, the blurry outline of a woman appears. Something unnatural is afoot here. You are startled by the woman's sudden appearance. You realize that you are looking into another dimension, and the implications race through your mind, stirring up distressing fears and emotions. Resist the horror. Well, we gotta have a good wands drawn or we're out. That was not what we wanted. Your mind is weak. This strange confrontation with the mysteries of the universe chips away at your sanity. Well, we're getting lucky that we're not picking up the bad cards, at least. The woman in the mirror does not seem overtly threatening, but she is terrifying nonetheless. She floats on the other side of what surely must be a portal. She can't possibly be human. The only word that describes her is ethereal. You begin to hear a low moan emanating from the mirror. The sound is truly chilling, and you feel as if it is trying to paralyze your mind. Can we communicate with it? We cannot. Let's flee the mirror. The moaning emanating from the mirror seems to almost hold you in a psychic vice. You will need to gather all your mental strength to step away from this. Is that right? Yep. Why do I do this? Like, we're fleeing? Well, there's an off chance we might earn something from these cards. Your will proves stronger than whatever strange sorcery the otherworldly moaning is evoking. You step away from the mirror and soon are out of its area of effect. Face in the vase. You notice an eerie glow at first. There was a large vase set on a pedestal. The opaque glass base is topped with a ceramic lid that is marked with strange runes and glyphs. You observe the vase. A face materializes within it. It swirls around the inside of the locked in a horrific silent scream. Oh, look at that! It actually is the silent scream. The painting. Resist the horror. The face in the vase is truly disturbing. You can't actually hear it scream, but the expression evokes an overwhelming urge in you to scream as well. This one's not so bad. We'll take the victory immediately. Your mind is strong. You resist the urge to scream and gather your wits and courage. The face swirls around the interior of the vase, illuminated from within by a ghostly blue energy. The silent scream still echoes in your ears, or perhaps only your imagination. You recognize the vase's construction and the runes etched along its lid. This is a spirit jar. Its sole purpose, to bottle up and slowly leech off energy from powerful beings. You should proceed with caution. We'll leave this alone. These two things are actually part of a quest, but I don't know why the quest didn't spawn. We might need more pentacles in order to actually communicate with these creatures. So this is this creature's child that she wants back, but we can't communicate with her. Okay, good. That looks like that brings us back to the front of the mansion, so we can avoid the green slime for now. I think the next thing we're going to take will be another point in pentacles, and then we'll grab another skill card to take something with swords instead. After that. Oh, this looks like the lunchroom. There's usually an enchanted knife in here. Angry poltergeist of knives! You hear a clatter and swish of air before you can even see it. Then suddenly in front of you is a supernatural cyclone of razor-sharp butcher knives. It's moving right towards you, and you don't have the luxury to panic. You fight to keep yourself calm and not give in to the panic. I don't know why I even try. Your mind is weak. You begin to sob and weep in terror. You don't have time for this, but you can't help yourself. You know a poltergeist when you see it, and this one is armed, dangerous, and mad. We can try to defeat it. It's 7? We can make it 7, but it depends upon our card draw. We're also badly hurt. We'll try engaging it in one round of combat, then we'll flee if that ends up badly for us. This poltergeist is an embodiment of the mindless rage, and you think that you can contain and disperse it with the power of your mind. A risky course, no doubt, but it may just work. Oh, we got a good draw. We just have to hope for pentacles. That will work too. You won the duel. You first create a barrier around it, and then, holding it tight, simply snuff it out. Wow, that was awesome. Alright, let's improve our pentacles then. Next, we'll save up for another skill card, the last one we can take. We'll aim for something that gives us swords, I think. Let's save the game. That actually worked out really well. Even though I'm complaining a lot about the card draw, we're still winning the ones we have to win. Oh, the possessed knife. You look down and see a large knife resting on a wooden surface. Blood has pooled around it, and there are several pieces of stubby flesh scattered around it as well. Suddenly, you see 2 pale eyes reflected on the surface of the blade. No, not reflected, but rather projected from some place inside the blade. You recoil in terror from the vision. The eyes seem to pierce through to your very soul. They mask a dark and powerful evil will. You shudder and force yourself to resist it. You can feel it probing your psychic defenses. The king is helpful. And we won, thank goodness. And we have to play that card. We can't hold... Oh, darn it! That's a shame. Been a lot more points. You have kept your sanity. You have shrugged off the evil spirit's attempt to dominate you. You gaze down at the knife, but try to keep your gaze from locking on the mesmerizing eyes within the blade. You feel an oppressive presence in the room with you. The knife radiates pure evil. You resolve to approach this artifact with caution, and wonder how many throats this thing has slit. We try to dispel it, or run away. We will try to run. This thing's a part of a quest, like most of these encounters are. The evil presence continues to probe your defenses, seeking to dominate you. You feel that the outcome is balanced on the knife's edge. Ha-ha! So you decide to cut and run. Awesome, Vic. Awesome. Unfortunately, okay, we did get away. You stir yourself to move and break free from the evil presence that lurks within the knife. With one last final mental push, you turn and run. Now that we have the pentacles, let's try seeing if we can communicate with the ghost now. We can. Okay, so we needed a 4 in pentacles to talk. Talk with the ethereal woman. It's risky, but you might be able to communicate with this other dimensional woman. This might not be invasion. Maybe it's just a call for help. I want the most points as possible, so we'll definitely use that. Wow, that's awesome. It is said that the eyes are the door into the soul, and this proves the case here. You establish a mind link with this ethereal creature, and discover that it desperately wants your help. The woman in the mirror is indeed a powerful creature from another dimension. It is searching for its child, who was stolen from it by a sorcerer from your world long ago. The child will be a creature of pure energy in this dimension, and it was imprisoned by the sorcerer in an ornamental vase. The ethereal mother has tracked her child to this location, but cannot cross over. She wants you to find the child and free it. She teaches you the incantation required to break the seal. She promises to reward you if you do this. Well, we can give it a try. The child is right here. That's very rare for it to be in the same room. Free the child. This is the child that the ethereal woman in the mirror is seeking. You decide to use the release incantation that was taught to you to free the child. Wow, this must be agonizing for her to see her child there, screaming in torment, and she can't do anything to save it. Well, we won. The runes etched on the lid glow with power and then fade. You twist off the lid, and the creature flows out of the vase. Before you object, it wraps itself around you in an aura. You must return it to its mother. We're going to call it quits, everyone, right after this is done. Complete the quest. You step towards the mirror, and the child of energy seems to flow out of your body and through the portal. You feel the pure joy of the reunion. As promised, you are rewarded. Plain touched. During the results phase of any successful challenge option that has the sorcery type, there is a 5% chance that a Nothing of Interest card will be turned into a Gain Charges card. Okay, so this cannot be upgraded, but there's a chance. Well, I just read it. So in other words, whenever we complete a challenge that was a magic challenge, we have a chance to gain power to restore our magic spell power. Gain a random psychic talent card after this card is used to take a trick. This is also a wild card. I don't know what they're actually called. A fate card or something of the sort? This card actually is higher than the king and worth more points. I generally will only begin using these when I am in a challenge that I simply cannot afford to lose. Like the ceiling is caving in on me and about to crush me. That's when I would use something like this. Though when we use this one, we do have an awesome side effect, which will give us a new power. We have 3 points, but that's not enough for me to take another sword skill card at the moment. Alright everyone, but we'll stop here. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care everyone.